This weekend, RC Racing TV has travelled here to Germany for one of the biggest and longest running indoor touring car races in the world. This is LRP, and this is how they do the Touring Car Masters. So this race has been going for over 15 years. It's all about blue, it's all about LRP. And the important thing about the Touring Car Masters is how it brings two parts of the main racing community together. Over on that side of the hall, you can see lots of the top guys you're used to seeing on RC Racing TV. But then dotted around the rest of the hall, we've got literally hundreds of other clubman competitors competing in all of the challenge classes. This race meeting brings those two groups of people together for one fun weekend of racing. Now, we're going to be covering some of those challenge classes later on in our coverage, but in the Touring Car Masters division, Ronald Volker is a defending champion. Let's chat to him about what it's like racing here at the LRP.
The LRP challenge is very big in Germany, actually.
LRP Masters is one of the biggest races in Europe on carpet, and it's very important for us to be here, to be present, to help the drivers, and also to make the best possible result. It's a promotion.
A really big event, and everybody from the world-class drivers comes here every year, so it's always a good challenge and a good competition here.
The atmosphere is really good, there's lots of people, and yeah, it just makes it the best racing.
It's just one of the first big races that I've been going to when I was a kid. It's just a legendary race, I guess.
It's full of entries, and I think even more people wanted to come, so this makes it also like something special.
So, starting on pole position, it was the person many expected to dominate this event, and he did. 4 TQ runs. Ronald Volker is your TQ man.
I tried new tires in the last run. It was okay, but I will keep with the old tires and very confident for tomorrow's final.
Now, as we said coming into this race, I mean, you dominated on carpet last year and you've done very much the same again this winter season. Is there anything in particular that's gone really well for you this weekend, or has it just all come together?
The car's very good. Everything is fine, and I just keep focused on my driving. But Alex and Mark and Freddie are very close, so it will be, I think, a close, exciting finals.
So do you think you're going to be able to escape off into the distance, or are you just going to be focused on consistent driving to make sure you stay out in front?
I hope I can make a gap that nobody can overtake me. And I think this will be my goal for the first few laps, everyone, in the first and second main.
Second place on the grid is Alexander Hagberg. Alex managed to TQ the final round of qualifying, the only driver so far to beat Ronald this weekend.
Actually, in the last qualifier I was closer than I had been all through qualifying, so maybe I'm coming closer as the traction gets higher, I hope. So.
Now, obviously, as I say, you got closer and closer every qualifying run. Was there any changes to the car that you made that helped, or was it just little small tweaks along the way?
Just some small tweaks here and there, and trying to adapt to those changes.
Now, also looking forward to the finals. It's a very tight and twisty track. I think it's going to be very difficult to overtake on the track. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it definitely is. Also considering all the drivers rarely make any mistakes, so it's going to be tough. I will be hoping for a mistake.
Yuho 11 and Yuho bumping into the A main. You said when we interviewed you earlier in the week that you either don't make the main or finish on the podium. So now you've got a chance to actually do both in the same weekend, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't make the main, but since they have the bump-up system here, I had another chance. And
it was some really close racing, particularly in that second leg there. Can you talk us through that second B final?
I think in the beginning I started third and Eric made a little mistake, so I got by him. And then Martin went a little bit wide after the straightaway, and I was able to put it on the inside. There was a little contact, but I think he was way out, so kind of his own mistake, I guess.
Well, now looking forward to the final, obviously going to be starting 10th on the grid. How far can you get up the field from there, do you think?
Well, I guess anything can happen, and 10th place is easy because you can just wait and see what other people do and usually pick up a few places in the starts especially, so we'll see. So, starting on the pole position, it's Ronald Volker from Germany driving the Yokomo. Second place on the starting grid is going to be Alexander Hagberg from Sweden with the X-Ray. Third place on the starting grid, not his usual colour scheme, it's Mark Reinhardt from Germany with the Tamiya. Fourth place on the grid from Germany, it's Freddie Sudoff with the Automatics. Fifth place on the starting grid, Dominic Fleischmann from Germany with the Yokomo. Sixth place on the starting grid from Norway, another Yokomo, it's Adrian Bernstein. Seventh place on the starting grid from the UK is Elliot Harper with the Tamiya.
8th place on the starting grid, the second British driver, Andy Moore with the hot bodies. 9th place on the grid from Denmark, it's Steen Graversen with another Automatics. And 10th place on the grid, you've just heard from the bump up driver Juho Leivinen from Finland with the Associated. There's your A final lineup. Let's go to the commentary with John Heintoff.
Thanks, Ollie. So let's get ready to go racing with Ronald Volker on pole position. There's Mark Reinhardt in third. Alexander Hagberg gets a decent start from second position, but the man from pole gets away, does the most difficult thing, avoids any first corner incident, of which there was none this time. Makes a bit of a change. Volker on what are quite difficult carpet conditions. You can see it's not absolutely flat, that flooring, and those saucers on the inside, and the leader just catching them there. Very much prone to throwing the cars offline. And there's a mistake by the second place driver, Alex Hagberg, going a little bit wide there for a moment, but it's still Ronald Volker who leads. Mark Reinhardt with the white car in third at the moment, unable to capitalise on that mistake by Alex Hagberg in second with the green top. But that is where the battle is at the moment. Behind them, Freddie Sudhoff in the other green machine, just dropping away from the leaders, and here comes Mark Reinhardt, multiple champion. He knows how to race. He's got the pressure on now. This is fantastic stuff. Through the technical parts of the infield and on the faster bits, it looks like Reinhardt's got a better setup, really has got a better car under him, but masterful stuff from Alex Hagberg, who is holding him off. But how much longer can he do that? The pressure was really on. And interestingly, Volker is not getting away in front of them. You'd normally expect that battle for second to let the leader get away. Little dab on the infield there. And again, Hagberg in second place. He's under pressure. Just got to really ignore the car behind and just hit your marks, hit your braking points and turn in. And look, he's getting a bit ragged now. That green top car in second place, on and off the throttle. You can see the movement of the car is just getting a little bit more jerky. He's feeling the pressure again. He's trying to overdrive it for my liking. The leader, however, imperiously makes his progress at the head of the field. Now, what about that battle for second? Well, for a moment, Hagberg has pulled out a little bit of a breathing space on Mark Reinhardt, who's still holding on there in third. So as you were from the grid, with Ronald Volker still leading them out, but he's not been able to break them, has he? And he must be getting a little worried as well. Oh, where's second place gone? Hagberg has gone. Hagberg has gone, and it's Reinhardt now who's in second place. A mistake then, a mistake. Here it is. Let's have a look. Oh, he's done exactly what we were talking about. Hit the inside of that corner. Got the car up on its side and rolled it. Now, looks like he's recovered. And in fact, yes, he's still in third place. Just ahead of Freddie Sudhoff there in the all-green machine. So that now the battle for third place with Reinhardt having gone through. Now, can Mark Reinhardt gain on the leader? That is the big question at the moment as we're watching the battle for third and down. Just catching a quick look of the leaders going through there, and it looks as though Ronald Volker has held on to that lead. He hasn't still been able to pull away. Very evenly matched, these guys. But Volker now able just to ease his pace a little bit. There was a part in the middle of the race where I thought he was looking a little bit ragged, but he's maintaining the gap to Mark Reinhardt in second place. You just feel as though Mark might be able to get a little bit of a wiggle on, and indeed he's doing that at the moment, and the lap times show that as the gap between first and second comes down just a tick of the clock or two. But it's too late as Ronald Volker takes it from Reinhardt in second, Hagberg in third position. Pretty much as you were from the start, a couple of overtaking manoeuvres. Volker, Reinhardt and Hagberg the first three, with Sudhoff and then Fleischmann, with Berntsen making up the top six.
We're here in the Masters pits. You can see the drivers behind me, like Ryan, are adjusting their droop settings, rebuilding their shock absorbers, trying to find those 1/4 millimetre shims to make those really fine adjustments. But surely there's a much more exciting and fun side of RC racing out there, isn't there? So while we've got the open stock class out on the track at the moment, let's have a walk around the challenge pits here at the LRP Masters and see who we can find. Now, the really key thing about the challenge is the cars are slightly different from the normal touring cars you might see. So if we look close at this car in here, we can see they've got treaded tyres on there. You can see the body shells resembling some of the American muscle cars here. What class are you racing in?
Classic challenge.
Classic challenge, so American muscle cars.
And the sprint.
With the sprint car?
Yes. It's not a lot of stress. It's with the people. It's very good.
So
it's fun.
It's all good fun.
Yes.
I'm racing in 2 classes, in the Formula 1 Challenge here and in the Classic Challenge.
And why are you chosen to race those classes?
Because the competition is very high, because these cars are built according to the normal kits. Yeah, the usage of tuning parts is limited. Therefore, it's more about the driver, how to race the car.
It's a nice body, and it's fun. Yes,
it's good fun.
It's a form of the cars. It's a form.
So they look like the real cars?
The look of the cars, yes.
Why did you come to the LRP Masters?
Because I want to have fun.
So it's all about fun for
this?
It's
all about fun. It's all about fun.
Well, while the fun challenge continues, let's check in with the second Masters final with John Hindhoff.
Well, the equation is simple, of course, for Ronald Volker. On pole position, wins this, and he is the LRP Touring Car Masters champion for 2012, and he gets off to a great start. Now, can Alexander Hagberg do anything about it? 3rd place finish for him in the first of the finals. He's got Mark Reinhardt right there again, and those are the 3 who were contesting last time around. I just wonder, I may have been a little bit hard on Ronald the first time around. I said he couldn't break away. You could say he paced himself perfectly, couldn't you? Because nobody got a real challenge on him, and yet he didn't put himself or the machine in harm's way. And as you can see at the moment, the way he's driving now is neat and tidy. It's perhaps not the ultimate pace, indeed not qualifying pace, but he's given all of the inside sources plenty of respect. As through goes Mark Reinhardt into 2nd place, and he's followed through, at least for the moment, I think by Dominic Fleischmann, but he's made a mistake as well, and Dominic then has just dropped back again. That was a very aggressive manoeuvre there by Mark Reinhardt, just as we were talking about the leader. Let's have another look at it. Look how far he comes. Well, slight mistake that I didn't see from Hagberg there. Good pick up on the replay, and that's Fleischmann in the multicoloured car going through, at least for a moment, into 3rd place, but he's dropped back again now behind Alexander Hagberg. So it's Volker, Reinhardt and Hagberg. That's exactly as it was in the first heat, and there is Mark in the all-white car. Now he must beat Ronald Volker if he's going to take this to a 3rd and deciding race, and at the moment Volker is laying down those laps that we talked about earlier. Look at that. It's neat, it's tidy, and you can't really ask any more of that, of any driver than that. Mark pushing on, more likely to make a mistake, I would say, because he's having to take slightly tighter lines, trying to get the power on a bit earlier and pull back that, 2.5 gap or whatever it is at the moment. Yet it is about that. And you can see that Mark is really leaning on the machinery there. There's Hagberg in 3rd place, and Fleischmann back in 4th. Oh, and that's a problem, is it, for Fleischmann? Certainly pulled up there for a moment. And has he? In fact, that was Freddie Sudhoff that had the problem and drops back. My apologies, similar coloured cars there. But no problems for Ronald Volker out in the lead. Quick look at Hagberg there. So there is Volker leading it out. And again, got to say, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. And when you are keeping a multiple champion like Mark Reinhardt behind you at a gap, you've got to say he can't be doing anything wrong. And Mark's been in decent form this year as well. It's not like he's having a an off championship. Qualified in third position, did Reinhardt. Hasn't really been able to get any pressure at all on the front man. There is the white shell in second place of Mark Reinhardt. Now, is there a chance with a potential of a little bit of traffic to pass, or will time expire before Ronald Volker has to get among the traffic? How savvy will the lapped runners be? That, for me, is the only opportunity for Reinhardt, and Reinhardt really isn't that close, is he? He's not there. You can only see the lead car in our picture, and Volker, if he's got any sense, and he has got plenty of that, will stay away from those two battling cars at the back end of the field. That's Steen Gravison and Elliot Harper. Last lap, and this is masterful stuff, brilliant stuff. He's not got involved with that battle. This is absolutely a masterclass from Ronald Volker, who will come through and take the second heat, 2 out of 2, and he is the LRP Touring Car Masters champion for 2012, and rightfully takes the congratulations. So Volker from Reinhardt, Hagberg in third, Fleischmann up to fourth, Andy Moore from 8th up to 5th position, and Adrian Bernstein in 6th. So as tradition dictates, the poll is left open because we already have our champion, and already we've got conflagration. Reinhardt was involved in that. Certainly he made a very good start indeed. Looks like Dominic Fleischmann's come through into second place. It's allowed Alexander Hagberg to get away. I was going to try and explain to you before we go into the action who has got the opportunity to do what with whom and get second place in the championship. But Mark Reinhardt, in his haste to get to the front of the field, has ruined his opportunity. Basically, how it adds up is Hagberg and Reinhardt, well, either of those two win it, they would be in second place and the runner-up in the championship. But Mark Reinhardt has ruined his opportunity. He's recovering there now in 4th position, but he's got ever so much to do now. It's a very, very unusual lapse of concentration, or maybe just try to take a little bit too much, a tad too greedy at the start of the race. And in point of fact, lucky to be in 4th position at the moment. Ended up on his wheels and was able to power away from what looked to be a big shunt on the first corner. But now we have massive, massive comeback drive required by that white machine in 4th position at the moment. Mark Reinhardt. He's got Freddie Sudhoff right ahead of him in the all green, and Freddie's been steady in the championships, not really set anything alight, but at the moment he's holding off the highly experienced Reinhardt, and this will be frustrating, Mark, because he needs to be through and off after the leader. And you can just see that Freddie's getting a tad hassled there, just modifying his line, perhaps paying too much attention to what's going on behind him and not driving his own race. And for me as well, Sudhoff's machine is moving around on the carpet a little more. Now that could be because he's pressing on a bit and trying to get the throttle open earlier. But maybe he hasn't quite got the set of Mark Reinhardt behind him. Battle for third then. And Reinhardt has to get through and get off up the road. Dominic Fleischmann is between him and Hagberg. And Freddie Sudhoff as well. So Freddie driving a little better now. He's settled down a bit. And you can see so much, you take so much by just looking at the body language of the cars on the carpet. And there you see Sudhoff getting the power on very early indeed, and he is stretching away on the faster part of the circuit as he... Oh, he's made a mistake! Curse of the commentator. Sudhoff just beginning to open up a little bit of room, goes too wide, clips those saucers on the outside, and it's curtains, I'm afraid, for Sudhoff. He's dropped way back down. That leaves Hagberg out of the lead with Fleischmann in second and Mark Reinhardt battling in third place. And there is Reinhardt, easy to spot with that very, very plain coloured car. Unusual for Mark, that. But it is Alexander Hagberg at the moment who is looking at a runner-up spot in the LRP Touring Car Masters for 2012. Now, I'll be honest with you, even surely the talent, the considerable talent of Mark Reinhardt can't pull that gap back. He was held up for too long behind Sudhoff. And in fairness, that was Mark's own fault, as there's a problem further down the field there, I think. Or was it just a bit of heads-up driving as the leaders came through? That was Andy Moore who was making way for the leaders as they went through. Not being the best of tournaments for Britain's Andy Moore. As Hagberg, Schuley now cruising to the runner-up position. Comes through to start his final lap, and you've got to say that all the problems for Mark Reinhardt were self-inflicted after that very, very aggressive start. And Hagberg comes through. He will be the runner-up for the LRP TCM Masters for 2012. So confirmation of the overall final results. Despite his nightmare in the final heat, Freddie Sudhoff is in fourth. Mark Reinhardt, well, he would have expected to do better than third, I think. Alexander Hagberg claims the second position, but Ronald Volter was Mr. Perfect this weekend and takes the 2012 LRP Touring Car Masters Championship.
I feel really great. It was my my third win in a row, and I'm totally happy to win it again. The event was perfect. I was very happy with the car and everything.
You had four TQ runs, won the first two A finals, so only one run we actually beaten on the track, so really good result.
Thank you. Yeah, I was trying to push in every run, and I was able, especially in the mains, to hold off the pace of Alex and Mark, and so I feel really satisfied.
Now, it's been a dominating carpet season for you once again. You've won almost everything you've entered, but it just seemed in this race they were really close to you. Do you thought they were going to attack in those last couple of finals?
I think it's on every race it's pretty close. It might look maybe more easy if I win most of the rounds, but a gap of 0.5 seconds is almost nothing. So it's very important to have the TQ spot, the finals, and then it's hard to overtake. And of course, the focus is, if you are TQ, to make no mistakes.
Well, there's lots more LRP action, plus our whole archive over at www.rcracing.tv. See you there.